Pull up a chair, grab yourself a cup of coffee, sit back, because I want to talk to you about this Revelation 12 sign, September 23rd, 2017. I want to begin by saying, I am ready to go home. I believe in the pre-tribulation rapture of the church. I am a pre-trib believer and teacher, and I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for Jesus to break the sky and to take the church home. But I want to be upfront and honest and truthful with all of you when it comes to Scotty Clark's theory of Revelation 12. The sign in the heavens, the woman clothed with the sun and the moon at her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. I'm going to take you to an article in a moment, and it's written by a Christian, but he is a physicist, a scientist, and an astronomer. And hopefully this will make a little bit more sense to all of you. I am not against Scotty Clark. He called me. We've been friends for a long time. He called me at home, I believe it was yesterday. But I cannot agree with his theory for September 23rd, 2017. It doesn't work. It doesn't line up, and it doesn't add up. And with that said, every year he puts up stellarium, and he's got his rapture autopsy, and he's got to go back every year when it doesn't pan out. The woman clothed with the sun, this is not the first year that he has come up with this. With that said, I don't want to see people to lose hope, to give up on hope and give up on the rapture of the church and become deeply, deeply depressed and have anxiety when nothing happens. If nothing happens on September the 23rd or shortly after. Again, I love Scotty Clark, but every year at this time, it's the same story. Feast of Trumpets, Rosh Hashanah, and for the last few years now, the woman clothed with the sun. One problem with this is that Revelation 12 takes place in the last 3.5 years of the Great Tribulation. And friends, we're not in the last 3.5 years of the Great Tribulation. Before the Revelation 12 sign, you have to have the two witnesses prophesying in the streets. That has not happened yet. We're not even at this point in Bible prophecy. Let me take you to an expert who put this article out. Again, he's a physicist, an astronomer, a scientist, and most importantly, a Christian. I want to thank a dear sister who provided the link to this article. It's been updated August 25th of 2017 in the comment section of my video this morning. What will happen on September 23rd, 2017? The article is written by this gentleman who is an astrophysicist, an astronomer, and a scientist, and he has earned graduate degrees in physics and astronomy. Taught at the University of South Carolina, Lancaster for over 26 years. Let me get rid of this here. There we go. Let's take a look at the evidence. Recently, at Answers in Genesis, we have begun to get inquiries about a supposed event of great prophetic significance on September 23rd of this year. Many videos on the internet are promoting this. On this date, the sun will be in the constellation Virgo, the Virgin, along with the moon near Virgo's feet. Additionally, Jupiter will be in Virgo, while the planets Venus, Mars, and Mercury will be above and to the right of Virgo in the constellation Leo. Some people claim that this is a very rare event, allegedly, only once in 7,000 years, and that it supposedly is a fulfillment of a sign in Revelation 12, Revelation 12:1. Reads, and a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. She was pregnant and was crying out in birth pains and the agony of giving birth. Let me have a sip of my coffee as we continue on. I want you to bear with me here for a moment. So we have here a woman, Virgo, in the sky, heaven, along with the sun and the moon at her feet. What about the 12 stars? Virtually all the websites promoting this prophetic sign state that there are 9 stars in Leo, but with the addition of the 3 planets, which appear as bright stars, there are 12 stars. Since Leo is to the upper right of Virgo's head, one might see this as a crown of 12 stars, though these 12 stars will be far above Virgo's head. Many of the videos that discuss this have various embellishments, such as tying this event to the supposed rogue planet Nibiru, or the tetrad of total lunar eclipses that we had in 2014 and 2015. I've previously written about these other 2 subjects and found them wanting. So we ought to be wary about this one too. So let's examine the claims. Examination of the claims, and this is the claims by Scotty Clark. First, there is nothing particularly unusual about the sun appearing in the constellation of Virgo. As we orbit the sun each year, the sun appears to move through the 12 constellations of the zodiac, spending about a month in each one. The month that the sun appears in Virgo is around the time of the autumnal equinox, from mid-September through late October. Nor is it unusual to find the moon near the feet of Virgo. The moon takes 27 1/3 days to orbit the Earth with respect to the stars. Therefore, for a day or 2 each month, the moon appears near the feet of Virgo. I keep mentioning the feet of Virgo, although I am very familiar with Virgo. Remember, he's an astronomer, a scientist, an astrophysicist. I have never been able to see a woman in the sky there, so I can hardly pick out what is supposed to be her feet. And I seriously doubt anyone else can either. Therefore, for a day or 2, September or October, the sun appears in Virgo with the moon at her feet. So this is really not remarkable at all. It was more than 15 years ago that I first heard the suggestion that this annual event might be a fulfillment of Revelation 12 in some particular year. Since then, interest in this idea has increased, with some people speculating or even predicting that this is the year, only to forget about it when nothing significant transpired, before moving on to the next year's occurrence. And this is what has happened every year. This is not the first year that Scotty has put up a stellarium and the woman clothed with the sun and the moon at her feet, and each year when it doesn't come to pass, well, he was off in his calculations. And but this year, oh, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Let me pick up where I left off. Since then, interest in this idea has increased, with some people speculating or even predicting that this is the year, only to forget about it when nothing significant transpired, before moving on to next year's occurrences. However, this year's event has attracted much more attention than previously. So why this year is so important or different? One possibility is the addition of Jupiter to the mix. Some people claim that this year Jupiter will be near what is supposed to be the womb of Virgo, so it represents the child that the woman is about to give birth to. Jupiter takes nearly 12 years to orbit the sun, so this is the period with which Jupiter moves through the zodiacal constellations, spending about a year in each one. In fact, I first saw Jupiter when it was close to Virgo in 1969. I have watched Jupiter pass through 4 complete orbits since. This means that Jupiter appears in the part of Virgo corresponding to her womb, along with the sun in Virgo and the moon at her feet, for a day or 2 every 12 years or so. The last time this happened was 2005. That's before we had YouTube. 2005. So why was that event not heralded for its prophetic significance? He goes on to say, I suspect that this happened wasn't too. So why was this event not heralded for its prophetic significance? I suspect that it's because YouTube was very new then, having started in February of that year, 2005. This year, with the huge popularity of YouTube, it is much easier to propagate these ideas. Another factor is the addition of the 3 naked eye planets in Leo above the head of Virgo. The videos promoting this supposed sign claim that the constellation Leo has 9 stars, so the addition of these 3 wandering stars brings the total number of stars in Leo above the head of Virgo to 12, with the 12 stars forming the crown of the woman in the sky, according to Revelation 12:1. Except that Leo has more than 9 stars. Where did the people touting the supposed fulfillment of prophecy get the idea that Leo has 9 stars? Because they haven't done their homework. They're not astronomers. They're not astrophysicists. Every presentation of the September 23rd event that I have seen has used the popular Stellarium software package to illustrate the events of September 23rd. Sure enough, the lines connecting the stars of Leo into an outline of a lion include 9 stars. However, even the Stellarium display shows other stars in Leo that are not connected by the lines. If they show that, it would blow their theory out of the water, so they're not going to show the remaining other stars. However, even the Stellarium display shows other stars in Leo that are not connected by the lines, and different depictions of Leo connect different numbers of stars. For instance, the monthly star chart in the April 2017 issue of Sky and Telescope magazine, and you can find that on page 42 and 43, connect 13 stars with lines. The star chart at this website connects 10 stars. None of these charts connect a line to Omicron Leonis, the star that forms the front paws of Leo. When showing Leo to people, I always point out this star making Leo's paws. By the way, the Digistar 5 software in Stargazer's Planetarium at the Creation Museum connects 10 stars in Leo, including Omicron's Leonis. Since the claim that Leo has 9 stars is false, the assertion is that the addition of the 3 planets bring the total number of stars in Leo to 12 is false too. And how rare is this occurrence to have these additional 3 planets in Leo at the same time that Jupiter is in Virgo? It isn't that common, but it certainly has happened many, many times over the past 6,000 years. So the claim that this unusual event is so rare is totally false, too. And how do we know that Jupiter must represent the child? There's no evidence for that either. Instead, this is a mere assertion that someone made, with many others repeating the claim based upon Revelation 12:5. Most commentators think that the child was Jesus. Some promoters of this supposed sign claim that the Hebrews associated Jupiter with the Messiah. Again, this is a conjectural assertion not supported by any facts. These sorts of claims amount to Rochard's test. People tend to see in them what they want to see. And in conclusion, so what will happen on September 23rd, 2017? From the experts' point of view, probably nothing unusual. I have identified several problems with the supposed sign of September 23rd, 2017. However, there are other broader problems with it. One of the purposes that God ordained for the stars is for them to be signs, Genesis 1:14. However, to truly be a sign, shouldn't such things be obvious, at least to a few people? Since the sun will be in Virgo at the time, virtually none of Virgo's stars will be visible. The 3 planets in Leo will be visible in the early morning that day, but all will be low in the southeastern sky. Venus is very bright, so it will be relatively easy to spot. However, Mars and Mercury will not be, because they will be much fainter, and they won't rise until about the time morning twilight begins. The thin crescent moon will be visible in the evening sky, low in the southwest. Jupiter may be visible lower in the southwest, though it will be difficult, since it will set before evening twilight ends. This is not all of this sign will be visible. That is, not all of the sign will be visible. And those parts that will be visible won't be visible at the same time. While this event may show up nicely on a computer screen, God set the lights in the firmament of heaven, not on computer screens, to be for signs. Instead of setting dates, we ought to be ready for his return any moment. Are you ready? What sort of prophetic event is this sign supposed to usher in? Clearly, most people promoting this have in mind the Lord's return. Some explicitly state this, but others, mindful of the words of Jesus in Matthew 24:36, are hesitant to make that claim, though their implication is clear enough. These sorts of claims or imitations have been made many, many, many times before. For instance, the 4 lunar eclipses during 2014-2015 caused many to anticipate the Lord's return then, but of course, this did not happen. I suspect that the same will be true on September 23rd this year. People who get excited about supposed signs miss the point that Jesus made in Matthew 24:36-51. Instead of setting dates, we ought to be ready for his return at any moment. Are you ready? And in closing, I want to say that I have been friends with Scotty Clark for a number of years. He has called me on my phone. In fact, it was just the other day he sent me a text message. I think it was yesterday, trying to explain what he meant by when Jesus said, "No man shall know the day or the hour, not the angels in heaven, only the Father knows." That now in the book of Revelation, that kind of is not true anymore, that now we can know the day or the hour. I just wanted to bring this to all of you. I want you to use discernment. I want you to not give up hope, but believe in that blessed hope. I truly wish that September 23rd we were going home, or shortly after, but I'm looking for him every moment, every second. I don't put my trust in man. No man knows the day or the hour, not even the angels in heaven, not even Yeshua. Only God knows. I put my trust in God. Thanks for watching.